So tonight, we have one of our living legend, one of the first icon I know other than Vince. Yeah, man, and this man is still going strong. So we wanna welcome one of my hero to the platform of Vince Lime, Mr. Michael Findlay. Good night, good night.
Good night, Colin. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm
Nice
excited.
program. Nice program. I enjoyed what I saw when I joined. It's really nice.
Yeah, nice of you joining us tonight.
Not a problem. And thanks very much for your birthday greetings. It's played by my good friend Beckett.
Yeah. So how was the birthday?
Well, quiet at this stage of life. You don't make a fuss about birthdays. And generally, I'm not a man for celebrations. So I had a quiet day. I do the usual things I do on Saturdays. I do the groceries in the morning, and I relaxed this afternoon.
Oh, that's lovely, man. I'm so honored to have you here because I know growing up I used to listen to you a lot and the radio station, your sport programs and stuff. So it's an honor and a privilege to have you here tonight.
It's my pleasure. Pleasure.
Yeah. So we want to do a feature with you, but not tonight. We have to bring it back on. But tonight we talk independence. I just want to give us a little history of Michael Finley. Where you're from, what part of the same as you're from, and some of your achievements in cricket and also soccer.
Okay. I was born in that northwestern village called Trumuka. It's on a hill. My mother's from Trumuka. My father's from Chateaubriand, not too far away. We used to walk from Trumuka to Chateaubriand. In fact, in those days, we walked a lot. I remember walking from Trumuka to Spring Village with cricket gear to play cricket and walk back after. That's all we did because, in the first case, the roads weren't motorable in the early days. And secondly, we had no transport anyhow. So that's how we moved around. So that's where I'm from. That's where the environment I grew up in.
I always thought you from King Ganya because since I know you,
No, no. I moved to Kingstown to go to school, and then after school, I became a civil servant. So I lived in Kingstown, and in '69, late '69, I lived in Cane Garden. I've been living there since.
yeah. Let me ask something. How do you balance school and sports? Because you represent Simmonson's cricket and soccer, right?
Yes.
So how you did to balance school and sports?
Well, they mesh with each other in that they're both challenges, and you've got to work hard at both. Uh, and in the grammar school, when I went to the grammar school in those days, uh, you had teachers who encouraged you to play sports and to do academics, and it wasn't bad at all. And I try to encourage youngsters these days to do that because there are a number of them on scholarships in the United States, and they got that from mainly track and field and football in these days, so that they've got to study. They've got to study in the universities and keep their grades up, and they've got to train hard in the athletics or football. So once you understand how to mesh it and you balance the program, then it's pretty easy.
Nice. So most people know you from cricket, but I want to go soccer first. Like, tell us some of your achievements in soccer. Yeah.
At the club level, I played for Saints. A group of us, when we left grammar school in 1962, formed this club called Saints, and that's the club I played for. I played for a football team called 100 1 year before Saints came. So throughout my career, my life, in fact, I've been playing for Saints either in football or in cricket. And I did play some athletics in the grammar school. Took part in athletics in the grammar school. I was a 400 meters runner. I did the long jump. In fact, I had a record at the grammar school for the senior long jump that was there for a long time. I'm not even sure if it's still there. And I played some basketball also for St. Vincent. So I tried to be involved in as many sports as possible.
He's jack of all trade, man.
master, master of none.
No, 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 no. We know different than that. We know we know he did well in soccer and cricket. So
Yes,
yeah,
well, I didn't do too badly.
yeah. So
Especially in cricket, I went on to play for the West Indies, and that was a big achievement. Cricket was my first love because in those days, cricket wasn't played very much in the rural areas, in the country areas as we call them, because I'm a country boy. And so it was not until I came to Kingstown that I started to play football. In fact, my introduction to football was quite nice. We were at a cadet camp in Barbados I think it was 1959 or somewhere thereabout. And it was a regional cadet camp. So we were playing a inter-region football competition. We played against Grenada, and they put 8 goals past us. All I was doing was picking the ball from the net and throwing it back out. And I swore after that that would never happen to me again. So I came home and I worked on my football goalkeeping. I read all the books I could on goalkeeping, and that's why I developed my football skills.
wow, that's amazing. So how long did you play for the national team?
Football.
Yeah.
I stopped playing football in 1968. When once I had made the West Indies team, I thought it would be a little risky because if you got injured in the football season, long ago you had distinct seasons. You had the cricket season from January to June, and from July to December you had the football season. So that if you got injured in the football season, it meant that you were out for the cricket season if you got a serious injury. Luckily, I played both sports without any major injuries. And football goalkeeping was what I loved, and you didn't have in football what you had in cricket, like the Winner Islands cricket team, the Combined Islands cricket team. So it's either you played for St. Vincent or you would get selected to a Winner Islands team at the end of the Windward's football tournament.
Yeah, nice. So let me ask you something before we go to the West Indies cricket. What do you think about the quality of cricket like in St. Vincent right now? Like we have some good youngsters coming up, or what's going on?
There's some promising youngsters, but I'm concerned that they're not as committed as they ought to be. They have better facilities than we had. I was telling some friends not too long ago, but we played on some fields that were terrible. There was a field at Comoca Bay, which is close to the sea, so that if you were batting and you cover drove, the man in the kids who were there bathing went to get the ball for you. I played at a field in South Rivers. South Rivers now has a lovely field, but in those days it was the river basin, and the only place that didn't have stones was the pitch itself. Even where the bowlers ran up, you had stones. You had to be running between the stones to bowl. But that didn't stop us. The strange thing is that I never heard anybody complain about those things. We enjoyed the cricket like anybody, like, as if we were playing as lords, but it was the conditions were terrible. So we played a lot of cricket. We played a lot of what you call goat matches. That's festival matches. I don't know if you know festival matches.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
yes. The entire village came out. The ladies cooked. The men the evening before brought ground provisions from the land and wood to because we used wood fire in those days, and the women would cook the breakfast and bake bread and so on because it's a big thing. It was an entire village festival. When the team came to the village, they had breakfast in the morning. Then there was we played the match. We broke for refreshments, and then the big feast was after the match. I'll tell you something. I don't know if you ever heard about club cricketers, women who were specially invited to the cricket match. These were some of the more beautiful girls in the village, and they would come down dressed in their Sunday best. And the batsman who made some runs that took a good catch, when they're coming off the field, They would get a hug and a kiss. So that was an innovative part of the what we call the village cricket. We call them club ladies. It was real good.
I think we need to go back to that that
I
era.
agree with you. I agree with you because even the players themselves prepared the pitches that they played on, and there were, of course, there were dirt pitches. And the evening before, the team would get together and cut the cricket field. And we had no lawnmowers in those days, so we used cutlasses, and then we prepared the pitch. So we were very much involved in the whole process of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Like I think we need to go back to the villages, man. Like village sports. That was very important when I was growing up. You know, it was really nice to represent your village, you know, because everybody come out and watch you play or whatever. So that was really interesting.
You are so correct. And I think too, we've got to go back not only to the village sports, but we do have a lot of village football now because football has taken over in popularity here in St. Vincent. You have football being played island wide. Every day there's a football match either in Chateaubelair, in Georgetown, in Sandy Bay, wherever there's a good playing field, in Diamonds and so forth. And a lot of teams are playing in those matches. So you still have that village football involvement. It has gone out of cricket though. Football has taken over as the popular sport in St. Vincent.
Yes, nice, nice. So tell us about which year you make West Indies team and how long and some your accomplishment for West Indies cricket.
In 1968, that's the first time I played for the West Indies. I went to, we toured that year Australia and New Zealand. It was a twin tour. So we were away for quite a long time. And I played until 1976, that last tour. My last tours of England, I toured England twice in 1969. When we came from Australia and New Zealand, we had a couple of weeks at home, then we were off to England. And I went back to England in 1976. That was the time when we had that great West Indies team with stars like Viv Richards and Andy Roberts and Michael Holding and the real big names. And we dominated cricket in those days. Those were fantastic times for cricket in the West Indies. And I'll let you know that West Indians in England, they cherished when we came to England and beat the Englishmen because they'll tell you straight they could have walked down the streets of London or Bristol or wherever feeling 10 feet tall because the West Indies had beaten England and that was a big achievement. I think we've lost that because I'm not sure that the younger generation of players appreciate what it means to the black community in England to come to England and to defeat England. In fact, that was one of the things that drove the West Indies team in those days to success, because we believe that we should prove to the world that as a black nation in the West Indies, we could compete and defeat and dominate world cricket. And that's what we did in those days.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow, you play with all the greats, man.
Yeah, yes.
Wow. So how is it like to tour like when you guys tour and thing? Tell us a little bit about like touring around the world as a West Indian cricketer.
Uh, of course, you are given VIP treatment wherever you went, especially the West Indies. In Australia, the under Sir Frank Worrell, the West Indies had played the first tie match in Melbourne, and was it Melbourne? I'm not sure, but when they were leaving Australia that year, thousands of people turned out to see them off. There's a big parade of people cheering the West Indies team, although they didn't win. So that we had that reputation, and wherever you went, the the people would respect you as a West Indian player, as a player from a great West Indies team, a great West Indies nation. Because don't forget, before us, you had people like George Headley, to Frank Worrell, Clyde Walcott, Everton Weeks, those Wes Hall, Charlie Griffith. Those are great. Gary Sobers, those are great players also. And so that I was just speaking to a friend of mine uh, in the USA this afternoon, and we were talking cricket. and he asked me what I thought of Garfield Sobers as a player. I said to him, you know, Garfield Sobers was to cricket what Pele was to football, what who was it was it was football, what Muhammad Ali was to boxing, and then he said to me, but you know, when you look at it, Michael Jordan played the same role in basketball. So here you had a man who was a fantastic cricketer. He was a great batsman. He could bowl fast left arm. He could bowl orthodox left arm, and he could bowl wrist spin left arm. And he was a great slip fielder. That was a fantastic player, Garfield. So Garfield Sobers now was a national hero in Barbados.
Yes, 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 yes. So before you go, we have to bring you back on a feet, give you a whole feature
Anytime,
because yeah. We have to. But before
anytime.
you go, tell us a little about the World Cup that took place in St. Vincent. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we had a very good World Cup. When the don't forget, in 2007, we hosted warm up matches. But these matches this year in June were Super 8 matches. And we had one big team, South Africa. And people were disappointed when the fixtures were published that we only had one big team. And they were saying, well, they gave us those small teams. Why did they give us that? But those small teams played extremely well in St. Vincent. They gave the big teams a lot of trouble and even beat one or two of them. But the fantastic thing about that World Cup in June was that the crowds supported the World Cup. We had one day match. The others were night matches because the place is now lit with floodlights. And it brought the crowds out. School children came out, parents came out, cricket fans came out. The stands were almost totally full for all the matches, and that was great. And that lifted the atmosphere. And there was a special atmosphere where you had the drummers, the dancers, and it was fantastic. You must have seen it on television, but it's a different thing to be there than to watch it on television. And the field looked immaculate. It was really good. So I thought that was a good World Cup. We don't know what the attendances were officially because we haven't had that from the ICC as yet. But as far as we're concerned, we had a very good World Cup, and people feel that.
Wow. But for someone in cricket for so long, you must be feel proud at that moment, right? Playing cricket in
Indeed,
the night.
indeed. We couldn't make, well, we didn't have the money to put up lights in 2007. And the other thing is that the airport, the E.T. Joshua Airport, was just behind, and there was a height limitation, so we couldn't put the lights up then. But this year we were able to get the lights up, and it made the place look really smart and great, and people were pleased with that. Is St. Vincent, we're looking good. Yeah, we look really good.
Yeah. So we're speaking to the legend, the living legend, Mr. Michael Findlay. So we have to wrap it up because we have a lot of stuff tonight. But definitely we're gonna bring you back on and feature you, so we could take our time
No,
and go through
no
everything.
problem.
Yeah,
Just let
yeah,
me know.
yeah. So before you go, your thoughts on independence before you go?
Well, you know, I've lived through a number of generations. I've been here for statehood. I've been here for independence. Independence is a great achievement politically, and it gives the people a sense of pride that they can manage their own affairs, that they don't have to depend on what was then a colonial power, Mother England, as we used to call her, and that we had our own prime minister, our own governor, and then governor general, and so on and so forth. So it's a proud moment for all Vincentians, and prouder if you were able to witness the statehood, yeah, and then the independence, and to be involved in those. That was fantastic. And I each year, especially at this time, you can see the pride that Vincentians have in their independence. A lot of programs are put on. People support them. The Independence Parade is well supported, and they've added some innovations this year by bringing on some cultural shows. So independence is great. I particularly enjoy it, and the it is something that Vincentians should be proud about, that they were able to achieve independence and be holding their own among many of the countries in the world.
Yes, yes. So we're saying good night to the legend, Mr. Michael Findlay. Thanks again to coming on Vinci Line. We appreciate you. Tell your wife good night for us.
I certainly will. And thank you very much for having me. Very
Yeah,
pleasure.
we'll keep in touch because we have to feature you. We have a program. We want to feature you. So thanks again.
No
Enjoy
problem.
Independence. Yeah, thanks.
Good. No, tell Rachel hello for me, please.
Yeah, of course, she's listening. Thanks. See you soon.
All right, good. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot for having me.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Different.
Tell them.
My team, we don't back down from nobody.
Mikey say,
Them things we don't back down from nobody.
our living legend, man.
Don't drop is everybody.
Up next, we have
Invite me in them, huh?
they call him Vinci Jake.
I hope you can